Happy Sunday, everyone. It's me, New York vocalist Benita Charles, for another episode of Singing Tips. I hope that everyone's having a great Sunday. This is a special Singing Tips because it's a tribute to my favorite singer who we recently lost, Aretha Franklin. She is a singer who, I'm among many singers who was very influential in me being a singer, especially in my early days. She is a singer that I aspire to be like. She is the true essence of a diva. So if you're just joining, hello, my name is Benita Charles. How are you? I see I have some people here. If you joined me before, oh, hi, Marge. Hi. Thanks so much for coming in. Hey, Ty. All right. We got some great people in here today. My name is Benita Charles. For those who don't, hi, Auntie. Thanks so much for coming in. I don't have my microphone today, so let me know if you can hear me. Okay. I don't have it with me. Hi, Danny. Thanks so much for coming in. Oh, great. Okay, so you can hear me. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me for special singing tips today. I wasn't on last week, so I hope that you guys had a great week and wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Hey Shay, thanks so much for coming in. Haven't gotten started yet. We're just welcoming everyone to this episode of Singing Tips. This is a special Singing Tips because it is a tribute to a singer who has a huge impact on my life, and as so many singers, I've seen people post, hey, thanks so much for coming in, on Facebook and different social media of the impact. Hey there, darling. Thanks so much for coming in. Of their lives, and I am a singer that she is one of my very all-time favorite. Like, I have so many favorite singers, of course, but Aretha is a singer who epitomized true diva. That word has been thrown around for years, but oh, thank you. But it's in honor of the old Aretha. But hi, Wayne. Thanks so much for coming in. Mike, thanks. But yeah, if you want to look up what the word diva is, you will see Aretha's picture. She is accomplished. She is so accomplished, and I'm going to go through a few of her accomplishments, but I just, want you to know how much she means to me, or, she meant to me and still does. When I was a young singer, I was trying to sing I can't measure up to Aretha. I'm not even going to act like I do, but I was trying my best. And but she just let's just break it down. So Aretha Franklin was born in 1942. She was born in Memphis, March 25th, 1942, but her family moved to Detroit, Michigan when she was 2 years old, and she spent the rest of her life, that's her home, Detroit, Michigan. Her father was a famous pastor in Detroit, C.L. Franklin. He had a famous church, I think it's New Bethel Baptist Church. And so she grew up around so many celebrities. So, and also she was a child prodigy. She was singing and playing the piano at a very young age. And she released her first record, her first album, in 1956. She was 14 years old. It was called Songs of Faith, and it was on JVB a label. But at 14 years old, how many 14-year-olds release an album? But so she started playing and singing in church. She got her experience there, but she was in the studio as a kid. And so by the time she became of age in her 20s, she was well established. She was she was known. But her career took off when she signed with Atlantic Records. Because prior to Atlantic Records, she signed with, I forgot the other label, but I think it may have been Columbia. Yeah, I think it was Columbia. But they tried to make her a jazz artist. Although she did well singing the jazz, But she didn't really take off until she signed with Atlantic Records, and her first single, Respect, that took her to another level. And you all know that song, Respect, and they play it to this day. But her sound had changed, and it was more of who she was. And once she signed to Atlantic, and she just, her career just took off, because they weren't trying to make her into jazz. They allowed her to be who she was. So her she had the gospel influences, she had the R&B, but mixed together, it was dynamic. And also, one funny thing about Respect, that song was originally recorded by Otis Redding, and after she recorded it, Otis said the song is hers. She made that song hers. I haven't heard his version. I actually want to go on and listen to his version, but that was Aretha Franklin is Respect. And that song won 2 Grammys as well. So let me just tell you what a diva is, okay? Aretha has a 6-decade career. She was basically singing up until her death. I think maybe a year, maybe 6 months before she died, she had to slow down. But she was singing. And then also she was ill the last few years. Maybe I think they said 10. She was ill the last few years, but she was still recording. So when you think about, oh, not recording, she was still performing. So when you think about that, we have no excuse, because if you see someone who, and she was very private. So I know there were rumors some years ago about her being ill, but she was very private about it, and she fought on and she performed, even though she was going through what she was going through. I can't imagine what she was going through. And it just goes to show you how strong she is. And also, like I said, we have no excuse, because if you see someone who was that ill, but they were still pushing through and still performing, still sharing their gift and touching people, it's really astounding. She sold 75 million albums. I'm not saying records, albums. 75 million albums. She's won 18 Grammys. She was the first woman to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. Hey, Roxy. Hey, Cuz, Brian, and Bertha. Thanks so much for coming in. This is a special singing tips, because I am honoring one of my all-time favorite singers who we recently lost, Aretha Franklin. She is the true epitome of a diva. And so I'm just going through some of her statistics, because she has a 6-decade career. So, as I said, she was the first woman to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Honor Award in 2005. She received a Kennedy's. Hey, how you doing, cuz? I know. It's a huge loss. It's a huge loss. She is a legend. She is an icon. She is a singer who I feel like really propelled me to want to be a soul singer. And so she received a Kennedy Center Honor Award. She performed at the White House for Pope Francis. And she was, as you all know, she was called the Queen of Soul. And that title was bestowed upon her by a Chicago DJ in 1967. And they said she loved the title. Like, it was something that she relished. And she's had more than 70 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. Her hit single "Think" was featured in the 1980 hit movie The Blues Brothers, and you can see that clip on YouTube, and it's a really great scene of her singing that song. She also, in addition to soul music, she also did a classical piece for the 40th Grammy Awards in 1998, and I actually saw that. Luciano Pavarotti, he couldn't perform that particular Grammy, and she stepped in. And they said she only had 2 hours to work on it and learn it, and she did it so beautifully. And I remember that show because she kind of breezed through her old classics, and she really honed in on that, and I could tell that that was something that she worked on, and she did a great job. um, she had a gift. She's just one of those voices that I don't know if we'll ever, well, of course no one will ever compare, but she just, it was in a, right, it was in, you saw that it was in a foreign language, and she just nailed it. Like, her stance, her tones, her pronunciation, and you could tell she really worked on, I mean, they said she only had 2 hours, but she was so focused, I'll put it like that. She was focused on that, and she did a great job. It was impressive. Like, she impressed the world on that one. I mean, but that just goes to show you. Hi, Dr. Salisha, how are you? That just goes to show you what type of talent she was. And they said she also was an accomplished pianist, because there was a lady, I saw something on television where she was I think she was a classical pianist and instructor, and Aretha went to her for instruction, and she said she was very impressed at how she focused and how she practiced and she worked on it. But she just was so, I didn't even know that until later years that she played piano. I just was so focused on her voice. But that just goes to show you, just the amount of talent, and then what she brought to her music. Hi, Tammy, thanks so much for coming in. What she brought to her music, she said, I saw a clip of her, and she said that for her, a song, she really studied the song, and she really got into the meaning, and she made it her own. She took so many classics, so many covers, and made it her own. Of course, she had her own signature songs, but she could take any, that's the thing, she could take any song and make it her own. So it just a phenomenal talent. And as I said before, the word diva has been thrown around for years, but she is the true epitome of a diva. She had her little attitude, but you know what? She deserved it. She worked for it, and she earned it, and it was okay. I mean, I don't mind you being a diva if you can back it up. I don't like divas who can't back it up. She definitely could back it up, and I just want to honor her today. I thank you guys for joining. This was just a way to honor her, and just to let the world know the true definition of a diva. And yes, I don't mind if I had a show and Aretha was on my show, and Aretha had so many demands, I wouldn't care, because she deserved it. And she gave everything. And I saw some of her last performances, I think it was this year or maybe earlier in the year, and she was very frail, but you know what? She was still giving it. She was still giving it. They panned the audience, because there was something in the White House when Obama was president, because they had Michelle and President Obama, and they had I saw Jill Scott in the audience. I don't know what particular performance this was, and she was singing "I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You," and she had her mink coat on. She was so cute, but she just gave it. And everybody in the audience, you could just see the love, and you could just see what she brought at every level of her career. She always brought it. And I think for us, that's a lesson for us to, no matter what you do, no matter what situation you're in, if you can make it, if you're sick, you still push through, and you still give it. She gave it 150%, and that was so inspiring to me. And I think we can all be inspired by that, and be inspired to always, no matter what, give 150%. I know, you know what? It was so sweet, because you could tell she was having a hard time, but it was still there. That talent was still there. That drive and that work ethic that she had was still there. And that's what made it so wonderful, because she was giving it every ounce of her body. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I just, it's just inspiring that we should all just give it 150%, no matter what's going on, no matter how we do, how we're feeling. She just showed that she, to the end, she was still a true performer. And I wanted to, there's a quote that she had that I wanted to read, and it said, "Being a singer is a natural gift. It means I'm using the highest degree possible, the gift that God gave me. I'm happy with that." And I thought that was a beautiful quote, because I saw it. And every if you look on YouTube and you look at her clips, every clip, she always gives every ounce of her being. So I thought that was a beautiful, just a beautiful legacy that she's left. When we have her music, we have, we have clips of her interviews and different things, but just a wonderful performer, artist, singer, pianist, musician, person. She was a humanitarian. She was very active in the civil rights movement. She was good friends with Dr. King. So she was, and even in her music reflected it in the 60s and the 70s. They said she was a great humanitarian as well. There was a lady, there was a lady who needed, she lost her house somehow. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It hurts to lose so many great people. She absolutely was one of the great ones, Marge. I totally agree. And they said she tracked the lady down and wrote a check for $30,000 for the lady to get a new home. That's just the type of person she was. So, she used her talent for good. She used it to help people. And I mean, just her music alone was touching people, but she went above and beyond that. And she deserved all those awards. That's why she got those awards. And I'll just go over it really quickly. I won't hold you guys, but I just wanted to, this Singing Tips was just, I wanted to honor her. Her service is coming up. If you're in the Detroit area, I'll post it. Someone, Melba Moore had posted some information, and I'll when I get home, I have to use my computer, but I will post it on Instagram. But she has their services coming up for her next week in Detroit. Monday and Tuesday they're going to be a viewing for the public, and then there's a private funeral on the 31st. Oh, thank you, Auntie. Oh, yes, she definitely, Aretha was a phenomenal woman who took life to another level with her music. Absolutely, the world will be celebrating her this week. She is such a part of my life, too. Yes, and my Aunt Sala, Marge, you guys are in Detroit. If you have a chance, I'll post the information this evening, but there's 2 days for the viewing. I think it's Monday and Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll make sure, so don't quote me on that. And then that's for the public, and then they have a private service on the 31st. But I'm sure there's going to be so many other things going on in Detroit for that, because she is a hometown girl, a Detroit girl. And it was just, I just wanted to, this Singing Tips, because Aretha, she's one of those singers that has really shaped my life as a singer. And I can remember, I think I posted it the other day when I was in college, and I was a voice student, and I was supposed to be working on opera, and I was singing Aretha Franklin. And I remember my neighbor in the adjoining practice room was like going, ugh. But I didn't care, because she was my heart. And I also decided that I wanted to stay with soul music, and I decided to change you remember, yes, so everyone, Sharon is my college roommate. So she said, do you remember in college when we were creating a concert for you, and it included Think. Rehearsing that gave us both a whole new respect for Aretha's skill. It was a mighty, oh, yes. That song was hard. Yes, exactly. And that's what I was working on in my practice room. And people were just like not happy because, everyone was into the classical music and. But that song was really hard. It was hard. I was gonna sing it today, but I was like, maybe I'll. Yeah, I'm working on something, putting something together, which is gonna include that song. So I won't do it today. But I do have another song that I was gonna do as a tribute in a few minutes. But I just want, hi Michael, thanks so much for coming in. Yeah, I know. I was working on it, but I was like, not sure if it's ready for, my debut. But yeah, because that was a long time ago. But yeah, that song was awesome. And it's hard. That's a hard song. And if you see the Blues Brothers version when she's in the movie, I love the way she does it. And she really works that song. She works it. But yeah, so if you're just joining, my name is Benita Charles. I'm a New York vocalist. I give singing tips every week for beginner singers. Also, these tips are life tips, so people from all walks of life find value out of them. And but today is a special show because we're doing a tribute to one of my all-time favorite singers who we recently lost. Aretha Franklin, and she definitely was a singer who I looked up to as well as many singers out here. She was so influential with even like the singers that you see that are popular, that are out there now. You can see her influence, and she just was not only a beautiful singer, she was a beautiful person inside and out. She did so many good things for people. She just loved people, and she used her gifts to help the world. And I think, as I said, she's a perfect example of how we should all live our lives. She has definitely left a legacy. She left a huge catalog of music that we all can enjoy. She has sold 75 million albums. She won 18 Grammys. She was the first woman to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Honor Award in 2005. She had a Kennedy Center honor. She performed at the White House for Pope Francis. She was the Queen of Soul. Absolutely the Queen. They said she loved that title. That was something she took seriously. And you know what? She deserved it. She absolutely deserved it. There was a Chicago DJ who gave her that name in 1967, and it just stuck. She has more than 70 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Her hit single, Think, was featured in the 1980 hit movie The Blues Brothers. And she actually stole the movie for that scene. And she also, in addition to her classic soul and R&B and gospel, she also was a classical singer. She sang, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Nasam Dong, at the 40th Grammy Awards in 1998, and she stole the show. She totally nailed it, and she impressed the whole world. She had a wonderful gift. She was a beautiful person. She left a legacy. She's a great example. She was performing up close to her death. She was still performing. She was still touching the world. She was still just giving of herself. And when she performed, she gave everything. And I just feel like that's an example of how we should always conduct our lives. You know, if we can help the world with our gifts, that's why it's important for us to share our gifts. And that's what Singing Tips is all about. Singing Tips is here to help you prepare for your gifts. Prepare your gifts for the world. And I thought about that. I think the last Singing Tips, I mentioned that to you guys, and I was thinking about, what is Singing Tips? Singing Tips is the process. And Aretha showed us what the results of the process is if you put in the work, if you dedicate yourself, if you dedicate yourself to being the best you can be, giving sharing your gifts to the world, what can happen. And she had so many accolades, she had so many awards, but it was so deserved. And I honor her today. So that's what the show is about, is me honoring Aretha Franklin. So before I go, I wanted to just sing something for you guys. And then I'm going to close it out. So I'm going to attempt this. This is for Aretha. If you want my loving, if you really do, don't be afraid, baby. Just ask me. You know I'm gonna give it to you. And oh, I do declare, I wanna sit with it. Stretch out your arms, little boy, you're gonna get it. 'Cause I love you. There ain't no doubt about it, baby, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, baby, I love you. Mm-hmm. If you wanna kiss me, go right ahead, I don't mind. All you got to do is snap your fingers, and you know I'll come running out in line. And I know what you want, little boy, you know you got it. I deny my own self before I see you without it. 'Cause I love you. There ain't no doubt about it, baby, I love you. Yeah. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, baby, I love you. Mm-hmm. Someday you might wanna run away and leave me here to cry. But if it's all the same to you, baby, I won't stop you from saying goodbye. Baby, I love you. Baby, I want you. Baby, I need you. Got to have you. 'Cause I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Baby, I love you. I love you, Aretha. Always, always. We have Aretha. Ah, thank you. We have Aretha, her music, her love, her gift, to remind us all that we have to be our best. We have to share our best to the very end. As long as we have breath in our life, we should share our gifts. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support of Singing Tips and of me. And I will be posting the information because there's a public viewing for 2 days this coming week. I think it's Monday and Tuesday, but I will make sure. Her private service is August 31st, but she will always be here with us. We have her music, we have live video of her, and that's comforting. And she has touched so many lives. Oh, thank you, Marge. She's touched so many lives, and it's a perfect example for us. We have to get to work. We have to stay on top of our game, and I will be here for you. This is a process. This is Singing Tips. Every week, we will be working on our game, getting our A game, because Miss Franklin showed us what can happen when you always bring your A game to your performances, and when you share from your heart. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time on Singing Tips. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. I really appreciate you guys supporting my music. The last I saw of the video, it was 842 views, or maybe 62. Oh gosh, I don't remember, but it's up there. But we will be celebrating at 1,000, so we are working on that. Hi Ernesto, thanks so much for coming in. God bless you. God bless you all. And also I want to just if you're on Spotify, please find me. Please follow me, and if you have a Spotify, let me know, and I will definitely follow you. I'm trying to get my Spotify numbers up, my listenership. Add me to your playlist if you like. And I just want to thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot. I really appreciate your support of Singing Tips. I hope that it's helpful. This is the process. We'll be doing this week after week, getting our A game, just as our beautiful Aretha Franklin showed us, that always give your best and always give 200%, and you can't go wrong. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you next time on Singing Tips.